Hey, the Chicago Bears have some good and bad news coming out before the Colts game. A lot of it is concerning injuries. We've got some players coming back and they are going to be ready to go. And also, I want to go through kind of the curious case of Keenan Allen, what's going on with him, and also the really good thing that we have a very good pivot that we're underutilizing. So, before I start here, I want to kind of outline the silliness that happens in the media after a couple bad games. I mean, check this out. And Jacob Infante pointed this out on Twitter, and he is just fantastic. This is from Jacob. Just today, I've heard people say Caleb Williams is a bust after 2 games. The Bears should bench Caleb. Odunze's dad is hating on Caleb. He wasn't. Caleb needed to get the ball out quicker, and his time to throw right now in the NFL has been average. Also, that DJ Moore is feuding with Caleb, also not true. The world of instant gratification in the media is just absurd. And I thought that was funny to share. It makes me just want to give out news on what's happening here. So let's just go. The danger of left guard Tevin Jenkins missing week 3 due to a deep thigh bruise, that appears to be over. Ton of speculation as Matt Pryor was handling left guard duties during practice the other day. And then, of course, stories about a full reshuffling of the line, all this stuff. Man, people need to relax. Jacob Jenkins was back at practice Thursday. He was, in fact, limited, but he's going to be ready to roll unless there's a setback. Amagaje, he went through a full practice. That's a nice report to hear, right? After his rehab from a quad injury, he's ready to ramp up finally, but thankfully, the injury was there when he was drafted. This timeline is zero surprise to the Bears brass, fully planned for. That actually enabled the Bears to grab him as he dropped with the injury. That's how we got him in the draft. I'd love to see him providing depth very, very soon. That's after Wednesday being limited, so this is very good news. We had some other guys limited, but I doubt this will keep anyone out of the game coming up, but here they are. Defensive tackle Andrew Billings with a growing, guard Nate Davis, a growing, wide receiver Rome Odunze knee, defensive end Montez Sweat with an elbow, and defensive end DeMarcus Walker with a foot. They are all limited in practice. I don't think this is going to preclude anyone from playing. The only one that sticks out is Nate Davis, right? Maybe the injury will give the Bears a chance of just playing Matt Pryor. Frankly, I'm just tired of covering that, and I'm going to give it a rest. So the bad news here that really sticks out, that's a continued absence of Keenan Allen. And it's pretty clear he's not going to play again this week. I'm going to go to this story on yardbarker.com. It's a really good story. It's called The Curious and Concerning Case Surrounding Keenan Allen. It's just really good read. So check it out. I agree with this story. I think this very well could lead the Bears to moving him to IR to get right. I mean, this is my guess, but it also means something about the necessity to get another player integrated into this offense. And I really want to get into that as well. And that player is Tyler Scott. It makes absolutely zero sense that he wasn't featured prominently yet this season, and that needs to change. He should be at least rotating with Carter as the 3-man. The soft defense of the Colts, right? That should eliminate the need to go heavy with 12 personnel. The run game can be shifted into gear. The Colts have been one of the worst so far against the run. Set the table nicely. Set these 3 receivers loose, and let's see what's up. And the biggest indication that he's going to miss, and maybe the team knows this, they just announced former USC and Nevada wide receiver John Jackson. He's been signed back onto the practice squad. He was originally on it. Then he was released. Most of you guys know it's Caleb Williams' best friend from college. A lot of times when a player is signed onto the practice squad at a specific position, it signals the need to create depth because, you know, a starter is going to be out. So whatever you want to do with that, go ahead. Keenan Allen's stats, these have been troubling. The injury, his contract status, unsigned after this season, his age. I mean, this was supposed to be a big 3 at wide receiver. Talks of who's going to get to 1,000 yards. Now Allen has barely played. Odunze is hobbled. People are manufacturing a feud between DJ and Caleb. I'm not spreading that. There is no feud whatsoever. But yeah, incredibly, it looks like, I mean, if you listen to the media, the wheels are falling off of this team, but it's only week 2. We've got potentially a Hall of Fame player, but is it possible the Bears wasted a 4th rounder? Rumors that he entered camp overweight. This heel injury doesn't seem to be getting any better. In fact, the same injury caused him to miss significant time at the end of the season last year for the Chargers, if you remember. So if he misses, which he will, I think it's very possible he's shut down for a while, put on short-term IR. That means 3 games, then a bye week. So the first time this wideout room might be complete, it might be basically Halloween. And so then from this perspective, and this was brought up by Stevie Push at Shy City Sports, he's in a situation that he's been hurt, now overshadowed by 2 other pass catchers and Moore and Odunze. There's been speculation that he wants to cash in on one more on one more contract. Is he going to be fully vested? Is he going to want to focus on just getting healthy to just get another bag from another team? And to directly quote, additionally, with the amount of time he missed with an impending free agency coming up, there would then be questions on whether Keenan Allen would have any desire to be fully vested in playing hard for Chicago with a fear of a long-term injury. I mean, I like this angle. It's thought-provoking. I like what he brought up. Not sure that I agree with it. I think the Bears will be rolling through this easy starting schedule by the time we play Washington around by Halloween. If he can come back, if he can be the difference maker. Poles, he envisioned this team as having Keenan Allen a major part of it. That's what he thought when he snagged him from LA, when he unexpectedly became available. The Bears have shown something that I really like and that players like. If you ball out for us, we will pay you. There's going to be tons of motivation for Keenan to get paid right here in Chicago. It just might take a stint on IR to finally get that heel right. And it's going to need to be right for the Bears to be really scary for defenses as the schedule tightens up during the home stretch. Second half of the season, all the divisional games packed together in one long stretch. We need a healthy Keenan Allen. But just in case, we have a talent on this team that we're not using, and it's time to ramp up Tyler Scott. So with the injury and inactive status of Keenan Allen, week 2 of the NFL season, that was an opportunity for second-year wide receiver Tyler Scott. And looking back, he had a quiet rookie season due to his inability to track passes. To be fair, it was really just that one time against Detroit. But there was a thought that with a new coaching staff, he would have newfound value on the offense. And there was hope that he'd be a factor in the Bears' week 2 offensive game plan. I was looking for it. I talked about it on this channel. That's considering the Allen injury, right? But to almost everyone's surprise, DeAndre Carter, he filled in as a slot receiver this past Sunday instead of Scott. So Carter played 50 snaps. Scott played just 3. Carter had 3 catches for 32 yards. Scott, predictably, not even a pass. And Tyler Scott continues to be overlooked by this Bears coaching staff. Nothing against Carter, but he's 31 years old. He's been in the NFL since 2018, and his career high in yards was 538 yards back in 2022 with the Chargers. So it's essentially the coaching staff was bringing out Carter and bringing out Everett and featuring them. It's almost like we had the old San Diego Chargers offense out on the field, and that never really proved fully effective. So not much upside in Carter for what he brings. Scott, he's still an unknown in year 2. There could be something there. And the decision to feature Carter in the offense over Scott, that could be a sign that maybe this coaching staff isn't that high on Scott, despite the potential that Scott has with his speed, yet to manifest itself completely on Sundays, right? But it feels like the coaches just don't trust him. And the use of personnel so far has been a little weird. Did the coaches not see how Scott performed in camp? And this is weird. I don't understand why they're not prominently featuring him. If for anything, to get him ready to be the number 3 guy to finish out the season and beyond. What if Keenan Allen does not sign with Chicago for next year, and then you still don't know what you have in Tyler Scott? I think with playing time, I think with ramping him up, Tyler Scott could very well be kind of in the Tyler Boyd mold as Chicago's number 3. I think it's very possible, but I think at the very least we have to find out. 2023 fourth round pick. And as you looked at training camp going on earlier in the season, he was developing an early connection with rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. And in fact, a lot of times he looked like the best player in camp. And this is to hear from Shane Waldron during camp. He's right in the mix, making some nice plays in practice, ready to go, and he'll have his shot. Where's his shot? And he needs the opportunity to prove himself. 2023, that showed that Scott, he was tough. He was a scrappy wide receiver. He proved to be a physical blocker in the running game. We could use that. Solid route runner. He also proved to be a true student of the game. He focused on details and intricacies needed to play wide receiver at a high level. The coaches talked about him being a big-time film guy. Showed some flashes, few and far between, but still he showed flashes. And he also has a background as a running back. That helps him with the run after the catch. And he has just great balance, great toughness to help him break free. That was a scouting report out of college. And he has 4.46 speed. I don't know if the defense is going to catch him if he breaks free. And that's in college also. That's not his 40 time. That's his yard per average per touchdown play. Let me correct that. In college, he averaged 44.6 yards per touchdown play. A penchant for big plays. He can also play a big part in this offense, I believe. Like, imagine having 3 or 4 receivers with the capability of making this big play at any moment. It's just a big thing. I think we're underutilizing a player that we should definitely be featuring right now. He's more than capable of stepping in. If Waldron can get Scott's best, he could sneak in, have a big season, and it doesn't leave such a burn hole that Keenan Allen might have to go on IR. And also, he's surprisingly a fringe player. That's along with Roschon Johnson, right? He might be the best pass blocking running back on this team as well. He runs with really good power. He kind of reminds me of Waldron's running back in Seattle, Kenneth Walker. I'd also love to see him in the mix against the Colts as well. And just a huge game for the Bears, an absolute must win, a matchup that has to be a get right matchup. And to do so, I believe that Tyler Scott needs to be given a shot to fill the void left by Keenan Allen, and whether they decide to do it or not, that's up to them. But I think that it needs to be done. And also, it's a good thing to see what we have for the future. And heck, throw Colin Johnson in there as well. Give us a big body in the end zone. See what happens. I'm kind of interested to see if Shane Waldron corrects some of these weird personnel decisions. You guys be watching with me. Bear down, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.